What if God healed you today? Here's some things for you to ponder. What if God were to heal you today? Where would you go from there? Would it be like the dog that returned to his vomit? Now understand, we don't want to get hung up in our present state with the old idea that you're suffering for Jesus or taking up your cross, as you heard some say. Know this: God is the God that changes not. He can express more and more who He is, which never ends. Now we in this ever-changing world do change from one degree of glory to another, with the expression of the faith, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen day by day. We'll come to the stage of growth where we lose old views and learn to speak those things that are not, as though they were, because in truth, they are. They are complete in us, waiting to be worked out according to God's timing and purpose, and not before. Many times things are like a thorn in our flesh. They are to keep us from becoming puffed up or going back to old ways. It is said of this thorn that Paul the Apostle had, that was there to keep him ever pressing forward, not going back. What he needed daily, to him, moment by moment. But the Lord saying to him that this moment by moment grace was sufficient. So adding to our opening question asked, if God did heal you, would you lose the needed element to desire a new creation that He's offering? With some, it only increases their desire to want to know Him and why we needed healing in the first place, and wanting to know what happened in our past that created this need to be healed from anything. Yet for some, they would receive their healing and go off only to die at a later date, still not desiring anything beyond this experience. Could you say that it would have been better that he never did get healed? We know, for example, that Jacob wrestled with God and ended up for the rest of his life limping. Before this moment, he was crafty, had control of life, so he thought. Not until this wrestling match did he discover that God's strength was sufficient and came to him moment by moment. He found his strength was in his weakness. Remember Paul saying the following that came to him learning the same lesson: that we aren't sufficient in ourselves to evaluate anything, and that our source of sustainability had God as its source. If, and I say if we were to place our total confidence in God as our source, and not go back to being cocky, thinking we could handle anything apart from Him, this thorn, this mental, emotional, or physical deterrent would end, and we would be trusted to go forward and not turn back. Yet for some, they end up in chronic pain for the rest of their lives as Jacob. It comes down to our inability to even evaluate this. You've heard of many winning a lottery. Here's an example. Ending their financial thorn that kept them for years dependent upon the Lord for daily supply, and kept them ever seeking first the kingdom of God, and in doing so, saw God adding to their lives moment by moment those things they needed. But once they won the lottery, this all ended. We read of this in Scriptures. Give me neither riches nor poverty, lest I be rich and forget you, Lord, or be so poor that I have to steal and defame your name. It comes down to a balance, which is only found on a narrow road that few find. Many end up from one extreme or the other. This minor crisis I've stressed in my writings and videos keeps you in this balance. And if the distraction of those things left and right of this matter get too overwhelming, he provides an escape found in the mind of Christ. Said to be able to place you in heavenly places with Christ Jesus, who had overcame the world. It doesn't necessarily take you out of your physical environment, but be with this mind in your spirit allows you to sleep in the boat in the midst of the storm, and if need can calm the sea around you, made up of those stormy clouds of individuals who are being driven by cares and fears of this world. They don't disturb your peace. You, through the peace of God that passes all understanding, calm the seas with a single word: peace, be still. So where you are presently placed, come to know, is this thing from Him? If from Him, it's His love and concern for you at that moment, until you're mature to the point that the thorn is removed and you can truly go on. Jesus was kind of saying this when He asked them this question: is this all that you want from me? A miracle of healing? Be seeing those who were healed, only to go back once again to that which brought about this illness, then needing healing again. They end up forever learning, but never come to understand what has happened to them. Or we read of those who receive healing, like the 10 lepers, individuals with only one, and a Samaritan at that, who once healed returned and thanked Jesus for His healing. This article is intended to get you trying to figure this all out. We aren't sufficient ourselves to do this, nor are Job's comforters. It's a matter of asking, then waiting for an answer as to the reason behind why some are healed and some are not. When this answer comes, He either heals you or sustains you, known as the why, and you can sincerely give thanks for all things, knowing this is God's will for you. So, get wisdom, get knowledge, but above all these, get understanding. Stand on what He has promised to do: save you, sustain you, keep you from falling, and finally rescue you in not only everyday cares and fears, but also from this coming tribulation period that the world has never seen before. You don't need such extremes to wake you up. God bless you.